Okay, hi guys, welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to Boss Dave's team call. Tonight we have a super special guest speaker. I'm so excited to hear her speak. Her name is Miss Cara Hintz. She has been coaching since 2015. She has hit Success Club 48 months in a row. That is a big deal because it's a big deal to help people get started on this journey. So you can look at it as, dang, that's a lot of points, but no, that's a lot of lives that she's touched and she's done consistently. She is a 5-star in her first business center. She is a 2-star diamond in her husband's business center. Her second business center is almost a diamond, and then her husband's second business center is an emerald. So when Julianne announced that she went 5 and 2-star in the same day, I was like, what the hell? That is freaking awesome. Who's this lady? She's amazing. I want to talk to her. And then I sent her a message on Facebook, and then she never responded. And then I had to be a creep and go reply on one of her posts and say, hey, check your inbox. And she was like, oh God, I better check these messages. I'm like, yeah, I feel like a creep. I'm like, why isn't this girl talking to me? But I asked her if she would come on our call tonight and just talk about what she's doing in her business. And she actually she already put in her notice. She's going full-time next month. She will be a full-time coach. So very exciting for her and her family. So I wanted to have her come on and just share her heart with you guys and share what she's been doing to just really explode and grow her business. Without further ado, you can take it away.
Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, I promise to bring the energy. I am in Iowa and it is 9 p.m. and I just had 3 hours with my boys solo momming it. I don't know how many moms are on your team. I'm assuming many. So I promise to bring the energy. I've got my bevy, not energized, but I'm so glad for team calls at night. I'm so glad that they came out with something just to sip on instead of wine every night. So, as you said, like I've been a coach since 2015. There's been lots of growth this year. You guys are outstanding yourselves. I'm so excited to see your team continue to thrive. I think 2020 is going to be like the year that everybody's in qual every single week. Like it just feels like things are exploding and it's just the norm to be in qualification. So I am going to share my screen here. Let's see. There we go. Hit present. I kind of want to see everybody's faces too because there's so many people on. It's so awesome. Okay. Just gonna put this aside. Okay, so a little bit about me. I am a co-CEO of Team Fit and Fearless with my success partner, Kristen McNeese. We met through her upline coach and we pretty much online dated to be success partners. I always tell people success partners is kind of like dating, and then if you decide to start a team together, it's like a marriage because you need to take it seriously. And so need to put that in there because as I work full time, we really complement each other well. She's a stay-at-home mom to 3 littles and a substitute teacher, and I am a full-time branch manager, which I'll get into kind of a little bit later on my slide. But she needs to be acknowledged in this because like we totally do this together. So in a nutshell, my story comes from being a burnt out fitness junkie to a self-care powerhouse, mentoring others to do the same. Bottom line, that's how simple this is. I just love what we do every single day. I'm a manager by day and a mentor by night, which is, well, I already know it's my calling, right? I'm going full-time coach next month. So we call ourselves Team Fit and Fearless, and we are the home of humble and hungry women. A little bit about me. I've been married to my wife, oh my gosh, I saw wife. I've been married to my husband, Brian, for 11 years. I was a collegiate volleyball player, and after a season-ending injury, I decided to move home. First thing I did was picked up a volleyball in our home church, and I met Brian and my coach, Kim, the same place. So I am a firm believer that God knew exactly what I needed in that space. And so we've been married 11 years. We have 2 boys, Carter and Beckett, as seen in the middle picture. They keep me very busy and will continue to. Carter is going to kindergarten next week. And so I am retiring from my full-time management position just in time to see what this COVID season brings with him going to kindergarten his first year. And here I did this a couple of weeks ago, but can you guys see that? I'm seeing Zoom. Can you see the Zoom? No, okay, perfect. So I've been at my credit union for 15 years. I've had 7 years of that in management. And I like to talk about like managing to mentoring, because managing people, once you've mentored people, mentoring just can bring you down so quickly, because it's people who don't want to thrive in their current role, whereas mentoring is people who show up for themselves already. And that's why I love coaching so much, because you focus on the people who want to change. And so a little plug for Ultimate Reset. So the picture on the right is actually from 7 years ago when I first started management, when I got my little business card with my picture on it. And 7 years later, I can tell you guys, managers do not look like the one on the left. So I'm super proud of my Ultimate Reset results. I lost 17 pounds. A lot of it was in my face, I feel like. But this is after 2 boys and 7 years of management. So I'll get into a little bit about what the last 7 years have taught me and what we've been through. Okay, this is like my shocking, like I haven't shared this transformation in a really long time. This is the first ever picture I took for 5 months postpartum with my first son, Carter. July 2015, I got started. Like I said, I played collegiate volleyball, and basically through coming home and just trying to find my identity again, because I had always been an athlete, I lost myself, basically. I got married. There was always a goal in mind. I got married. I did the marathon training. I did the group fitness classes. And then I overtrained my body and undertrained in my nutrition. And when I got pregnant, those pregnancy cravings were so real that I gained 60 pounds. 60 pounds. I'm 5'10". I should weigh about 170, and I weigh close to 225, 230. Mind you, when I was 16, my doctor told me that my knees looked like that of a 90-year-old. And I continued to play collegiate volleyball until I was 19. And then some after. But so anyway, 2015, how I got started. Retired collegiate athlete, like I had 35 more pounds to lose. And I saw my coach sharing her journey. She already had 2 kids. I knew she was a volleyball player as well. She decided that she would invite me, and I would ghost her, and I would tell her no. Apparently I do this to a lot of people. But anyway, so finally I saw her show up one day, and she messaged me, and I was like, okay, fine. You know what? I'll just buy the 21 Day Fix DVD. If you guys remember those days before BOD, just a DVD. So guess what? After all those no's, after all that ghosting, I bought a DVD from her. So no SC points, no nothing. I think she made, what was a program, 60, maybe $60. So she made 25% off of that, $15. That's it. Told her I wasn't a shake person. She kept showing up. I got great results, 21 Day Fix. I got great results with PIO, but I wasn't happy yet. So number 1, I hadn't worked on my mindset at all. And number 2, I didn't think I needed to. And number 2, my nutrition was not under control still. So insert the Shakeology piece, and insert where she had done a post, and I was like, fine, I'll try it. I'll give it 30 days. And I have done other shakes before. So I already had in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a bottom of the bag guarantee. Like I could totally use this for 30 days and then get my money back. But I want a discount at the beginning, right? So I got a discount at the beginning, signed up for the team, and I've been on Shakeology now for almost 5 years in November. Haven't missed a day. Not one day. It's the first thing I pack when I go on vacation. It's the first thing I pack when I go to work. Like, I don't have anxiety, but I would have anxiety if I don't have Shaco and Energize on a trip with me. No kidding. So never looked back, right? So this is where, so I started as a self-care coach. Didn't even know what that meant. Was just on the team, just wanted the discount for the Shakeology, okay? That 106.28 versus the 141.95 was huge to me because I was a bargain shopper, right? I didn't see the value yet. So what moved me from a self-care coach to a person who wanted to help others? So to this day, I don't know if she really needed help or not, but she told me she needed help with her challenge group. And so I wrote one post for her challenge group, and I had the most unbelievable feedback from it. And it gave me a taste of what a coach felt like when people were encouraging back and like giving tips, tricks, things like that. So that was all I needed. I like to say that was my hook, line, and sinker. But that was really the first time that I felt like, oh my gosh, like this feels so good to help others. And really it was just sharing my experience and sharing my knowledge. My post was about like ways to combat belly bloat. Like it was a really long post. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing right now to talk about, but it was like something where I don't know if somebody would have even read that post had it not been in a challenge group. So that was hook, line, and sinker for me. And then I went to my first Super Saturday, and as I'll share in a little bit, that was it for me. Live events are my jam. Okay, so obviously 5 years has passed. A lot has happened since then. And I just want to take you down memory lane for a little bit, because I don't know about your team, Danny, but my team has gone through a lot of heartache and a lot of loss recently. And so I think it's important for people to remember that ranks are ranks, and it doesn't tell the full story. It doesn't tell the roller coaster ride. So I kind of want to just bring this up for you guys. And I apologize because this photo doesn't really meet what this shows. But so I've had 3 massive upgrades in our organization, in my brand, in my credit union in the last 4 years. That is huge. I don't think in 15 years, I don't think we did 3 upgrades except for the last 4 years. Okay. Year 4, we were told we're going to go back to basics. We're going to have branch goals. Insert the pandemic team came in, was assembled, and we closed down for 2.5 months. Like our lobby was closed, our drive up still opened. I still went to work every day while my husband was home with my 2 kids for 11 weeks straight. Mind you, he's a network admin for a school district, so he was trying to figure out how to get kids accessibility to still provide that virtual learning. So right in between those 2, my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, stage 3. So we had no idea what that meant, what the future looks like. He's actually doing pretty remarkable right now. So I'm so thankful for that. My father-in-law was losing his memory and some muscle function. So just the fear of the unknown, like waiting for testing, going to different doctors, just handling different family dynamics with it. Pregnancy complications, just things that happened with my second son in utero, just like right before he was born. And then one of my most successful diamond coaches had to quit because of her, because it was a breach to her healthcare contract. So that's kind of like heavy, but I want you to know where we've come from, because sometimes I don't even take time to reflect, because that is truly where you find your strength. Okay, so we've talked about Cara joins, she gets some results as a client, then she becomes a self-care coach, then she gets a taste of what coaching feels like, so she kind of dabbles in the hobby, and then things change and she goes full business builder. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to build a successful business when you work full time. Number one, and some of this is probably nothing new, but hopefully you can take a different angle from my story and what I'm about to tell you. So it's all about mindset, right? So if you guys have heard, treat it like a 4-year degree. It's one of those things where every year gets better if you put in the work. All right. You are going to have that roller coaster seasons, and making sure that just making the decision to be here a year from now. I feel like we're living in like a different world sometimes than the actual COVID reality, because Beachbody, there has never been a better time to be part of this incredible opportunity. Not only for the fitness results, not only for the mental care, not only for the community that's already, this is normal. This is normal to be locked in on a Monday night at, you guys are 7:17 p.m. This is normal. Other people are longing for this type of connection and longing for solution-focused people that can just throw them a line and throw them a lifesaver. And then there's the financial opportunity, right? Like, people are paying off homes and paying off student loans and, planning Disney vacations when Disney finally opens, right? So decide to be here a year from now, if I didn't decide a long time ago, any one of those things on my last slide, it could have crippled me. But guess what? The one consistent thing that I had was that I knew somebody was showing up because I was showing up. I knew that other people were going to have that hard, and I knew it was my duty as a coach to share that. And then bottom line, inches matter, right? In your self-care, we get so excited about our pants not fitting as tightly, or buying a smaller dress, or buying that bikini. Same thing in your business. Celebrate the inches, because sometimes the people who burn out, actually not sometimes, the people that burn out aren't the ones that celebrate the inches. They're the ones that are just looking for that next big milestone. Okay. So full-time, working full-time, right? 40, maybe 50, sometimes 60 hours a week, and then part-time coaching. What does that look like? Here is my Built to Last recipe. Have you guys read Built to Last? Okay, perfect. So some of this is going to be a refresher. First of all, this is my team. These are my leaders from our second annual Diamond Retreat. I love each one of them so dearly. They have really just deepened my why on why I'm doing this, not only for my own family, but because I could name each of one of their significant others and their kids, and I know exactly what this is doing for them too. And that is the secret to connection, as you can see down below. So I'm not going to talk about self-care first, because you guys already know that, right? You guys wouldn't be on this call. You wouldn't be part of Boss Babes if you didn't believe that and take action on that. If you need a kick in the butt, just talk to Danny after this. I'm going to talk about connection, and time management and consistency, because I feel like those three are my secret weapon. Okay. So again, this picture is from our second Diamond Retreat. We actually got to take pictures on a football field, which never thought I would get to do. So that was really cool to have that happen. Our t-shirts say Warriors Unite, because we are a tribe of warriors that we don't pretend like everything is okay, right? We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's how we relate with each other. But with the connection piece, is my vision for this team is all are welcome, and making it the place that nobody wants to leave. So making it a place that you come to the team when things are awesome, you bought your house. You come to the team when it just got hit by a derecho, an inland hurricane, which, mind you, just happened last week, a week ago. We had 106-mile-an-hour winds in Iowa. We have a city where several of my leaders, there's no property that isn't damaged. And what's bad about it is that like they can't even bulldoze things because things aren't like a total loss. So they have to pick individual branches up. They have to make sure like not to cause more damage. But anyway, so make the team the place to be that nobody wants to leave. What got me so fired up as a coach was that live event, that first Super Saturday. I'm like, why don't we do more of these? Well, then I saw everything that goes into it. I was like, we can do this simpler. We can do this better. Like, you put a group of women together and they can do their own thing. Like, they don't need structure, right? So we started small. We started out with workouts and lunches. We started actually out at our home church. Kind of had to fib a little bit what it was for because people are just weird about it. But we got together for lunch and people were craving it. People were asking when the next one was. Then we did team retreats. So like Team Rockstar Fit would do a diamond do a diamond retreat. And then we would take that content and teach it to our teams in person at the team retreat. So that was like the best thing. When we talk about, if you're a self-care coach or if you're a coach to others, that's where we first implemented that idea. And it was so cool to have those conversations in person. Obviously that was before COVID. Anyway, so we have leadership retreats. Some people get together for like kids play dates. We would find anything and everything just to get together. The extras. So one of the things where the team is the biggest value, right? It's the place you want to be. So make it the place where you want to be. So do you offer book clubs? Do you have like special challenges? Like we had an inactive to active challenge recently. We have, team swag. We introduce success partners. The other thing that's been really eye-opening is just especially since COVID, is giving more places for people to plug into. So every morning we have a 5:30 connection call. It's only about 15-20 minutes. It started out a lot with PD, which was really nice because I know my team well, and we are a team of busy moms. And so trying to get them on a call 7-8 o'clock at night, it doesn't really work in the chapter we're in. So we might have 20-30 people on a 5:30 a.m. call, and it starts their day out on the best note. We've recently gone to Business Tip Tuesdays, and then we've had other leaders share their takeaways or business building activities. So that's been really cool to learn from not just Kristen and I, which is nice. We do a Zoom weekend sweat sesh. We do Q&A sessions. We have one-on-one mentoring. And then this is the one that I just learned from Trina, is that when we introduce people in our Team Fit and Fearless page, number one, we tag all the coaches that is in their organization because we want them to know who they are. And number two is we want them to know what chapter they're in. So if they're in healthcare, if they're a teacher, if their kids are in daycare, if they're a stay-at-home mom, if they don't have kids, if they are a dog mom, type of thing. And it's just a great way for them to stay connected. And really, it's kind of like when you invite people, people are going to view your post in a different fashion when you're personally inviting them. They might say no, they might ghost you, but from then on out, they feel like they're personally invited into your world. And so they view your stories, your posts, everything about you, they view it differently. And that's how your team's going to view it when you introduce them to specific people. And then I just have teams that do life together are in this together for each other's success. So when Danny was talking about my strategy for being 5-star, 2-star, all the success we've had, I thought long and hard about it because it happened so organically. I just focused on helping people. Success Club, I helped focus on people. I knew I needed to send 5 to 10 invites every day, including the weekends, sometimes more on weekends, according to my goal. Because I can't expect to be at SC and only send 2 invites a day. Like, that's not going to work, especially as people tend to not say yes or even answer you back on the first time. If they do, I'm like doing a happy dance. So besides connection, I want to talk to you guys about time management and consistency. So these are, if you guys want to take a snapshot of this slide, I would urge you to, because this is really where the magic happens. I am not a fancy coach, okay? I have graphics and things like that, but I know my strengths really well, and it's the connection piece. It's not a creative side, which I am going to be working on next month because I'm going to be creating more content for my team. That's my goal. But here are some things. So number one, how many of you get easily overwhelmed by looking at team pages, posts, what other coaches are doing? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay. So this is for you. So I want you to start brain dumping if you don't do this already. All right. There are times when you can have something that's called analysis paralysis, and it's your brain is constantly analyzing data that it's filtering through, and it paralyzes you from taking any action. We know you can be the smartest coach, but if you don't take action, the results will not happen. Okay, so brain dumping allows that you to work through that analysis paralysis. And I can't say that 3 times in a row, so I'm not going to say it again. But brain dumping helps you bring clarity, right? So it's just like after your workout, you work out and all of a sudden you have clarity, okay? This is a great alternative as well. So maybe you do this at night before you go to bed. Maybe you do this first thing in the morning before you meditate, or you work out, or you jump on your team call. It also brings the next phase of prioritizing, all right? I don't know about you guys, but once I get the stuff that's in my head on paper, it is a lot easier to separate what's important and what's not. And what I'm making up in my head to be important, a lot of times isn't important, okay? So that's gonna give you time back in your day that you're not gonna have those thoughts rolling around in your head. Another thing I do for efficiency is I schedule priorities on Sunday, okay? So Sundays, if I get my invites out, I post some stories, I might check my team page, but mostly Sunday is for meal prep and it's for scheduling the next week. Because I know, just like meal prep, if I have stuff prepped for lunches and dinners, it's gonna be a smoother week, right? My kids are gonna have a happier mom. My husband's gonna have a happier wife. Same thing with your business, all right? You may be like me, and I can't write out posts ahead of time. I can have ideas swirling in my head, or just like general ideas made out on paper, but I don't take Sundays to write out posts. I take Sunday to figure out the week and communicate it with B and make sure that we're on the same page. Because a lot of times when I started out as a coach, I did not effectively communicate to my home team. And that ends up hurting you until you can learn how to do this. Melanie Mitro talks about it all the time in her Inspiring Women podcast. Just that communication is so important. You guys already know this, do your IPAs first. Income producing activities. So your business isn't moving forward when people don't know what they're missing. So if you're not telling them what they're missing, they don't have a lens to look at it differently through. Okay, so if anything else, get your invites done. Okay, I used to do this. I used to warm up during the day, like I'm gonna add to network and I'm gonna post and I'm gonna, and then I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm so tired. It's 11 o'clock and I don't want to invite. Who wants to hear from an invite at 11 o'clock at night? I'm like, no. So I started on Sundays, I started writing my list of people I was going to invite. Okay, and then all you have to do is send the dang invite, because I think a lot of times we overthink about who we should invite and who we shouldn't. Okay, make a list, go through it during the week, wash, rinse, repeat. The next one, focus over time. Okay. You don't need to be a full-time coach to build a 6-figure business. You don't need to be a full-time coach to, what's the word? To pay yourself more than your job is paying you right now. It's 9:30. I'm like, the other thing is Trina talks a lot about this too, is be 2 feet in your current role. When I go to work and I cross that threshold, I am full-time branch manager, Cara Hintz. When I leave, I'm like, what's my post going to be tonight? And then I'll drive home. I can think about that. And then when I step foot in my house, I'm mom. After I put my kids to bed, I'm wife. And then I probably go back to coach. Get in and get out. Coaching is not your life. Okay. So I love how my success partner says this. She says, I love how coaching can fit into my life, not life fits into coaching. So that might be a gut check to you tonight. What are you trying to fit where? Are you trying to fit coaching into your life, or are you trying to fit your life into coaching? Because it's all about priorities and organization. I kind of spoke to this a little bit before, but efficiency and alignment. So if you don't have a vision, you don't have a starting point. If you don't have goals, how are you going to know if you've met them or not? If you don't have expectations, how do you know if you're growing? And set your dang timer. I don't know how many times this has helped me so much when I am burnout and I just want to go veg. I just want to read a book. I just want to turn on something on the TV and close my laptop. 20 minutes invite, done. Okay. You're going to have those days where you're not going to want to do anything, and your timer is going to be your best friend. And extra credit, try doing house chores with the timer. Try folding laundry, because how many times are we in our house and we look at what needs to be done and we get sidetracked, and 2 hours later we go back to the chore that actually needs to be done and it's still there. Same thing with coaching. And then I already talked about this, communicate with your home team, celebrate all wins, big or small. Fun fact. So when I started drinking Shakeology, Brian was like, nope, not interested. And like, I asked him maybe 2 times, and he's like, babe, I need a wife, not a coach, is what he told me. So I was like, that's fine. I will walk this walk and we'll see. He has been drinking Shakeology for how many years now? 4? Something like that. 4 years. Never looked back. Why? Because he saw other people doing it. He saw me getting results. I didn't have to tell him. That was what I chose not to tell him. But the things that I did communicate with him were, so-and-so has so much energy. So-and-so felt better playing with their kids from 6 to 7 o'clock at night. Whereas 2 years ago, they would be a bump on the log on the couch and not having enough energy. Or so-and-so planned a date night with their spouse and they had an incredible time. So tell them what you're doing and why you're doing it, and why what you're doing and what it's going to turn into. And last but not least, this is a question that I get so many times, is that, what does your schedule look like? Like, it looks like a lot. And, on some days, it might be a lot to somebody. But I happen to like schedules, and I happen to know that it's paying off, and that this isn't every single day. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel a lot better when I'm on a routine. So 5 a.m., wake up, devotional. I love the 100 Days to Brave. We talk about being brave a lot in Fit and Fearless. It's not that we're fearless, it's that we fear less. And taking the action of bravery is something that it knows all roles. So it's not even just being a coach. It's being brave in your life. It's being brave in your roles, in certain environments, relationships, things like that. So, and then I have a gratitude journal. I have, so 100 Days to Brave and Good Days Start with a Gratitude Journal. So it just lists like 3 things I'm thankful for each morning. I fully plan to start the meditation on BOD. I'm really excited for that because I'm such a busybody and I love to work. Like Danny, I love when you said that on the National Wake Up Call. You're like, I love to work. I'm like, man, she gets me. So like I said, from 5:30 to 5:45, we got the Team Fit and Fearless connection call. And then it's been great. Sometimes people like stay on and we chat for a bit. And so again, connection is key. When I became a diamond, I never dropped rank. And I think that's something, I don't say that to boast, but I say that because I don't have a massive organization. My organization is 400 people. And that may sound really big, but I assure you for a 5-star diamond, it's not crazy. And so I'm just really proud of that because people stay active and people don't just stay active with their self-care and ordering, and being a product of the product, but they also stay active with inviting others and building their teams as well. And just, it's a couple minutes a day adds up. So from 6 to 6:15, I usually do follow-ups, inviting, and then just quick check the team page. I usually have something scheduled in there, like a challenge or something, acknowledge, shout out. And then 6:30, I work out. And then from 7 to 8, I'm usually getting ready and getting the kids out the door. And then from 8 to 5:45 is the biggest chunk of time, and that's at work. During the lunchtime, I really try to be efficient as possible. If I can go someplace and use my hotspot and my laptop, I do that. During the upgrades, I wasn't able to do that, so I fully utilize my Sunday schedule. And then during that lunchtime, if I could get away, I would have my story that I would like put together from like anywhere from 5 to 10 slides. Because I feel like that's important to not just, in my head, I couldn't just throw things up during the day because I need to show I was at work. And so I would take a picture, save it, whatever. And then I would get home, and then it would be like mom time and family time. And then if I didn't have like a core message I wanted to share, whether it be PD or something that was happening in my group or what day of the workout, talking about the coaching opportunity, what have you, like it just didn't seem to be as seamless. And so I just started saving pictures, and then I started like posting them at night every single day. And that worked for me. So I don't know if that would work for you too, but maybe just give it a try if it's looked down upon, if you are posting for your side gig during office hours. And that made my nights go a lot easier too, because then I wasn't like spinning trying to figure out what I was going to talk about in my stories. Like I had a core message. And then 5:45 to 8:30 is supper and family time. And then usually after we put the boys down to bed, don't have a team call, I'm on it. Like I'm follow-ups, calls, inviting, talking to my success partner about future challenges, those types of things. So I think that's really important to have a routine, and obviously talk with your significant other, talk with your home team about this, because it takes a village to raise kids, and it also takes a village to be able to consistently do this. And I think people see what I do, but something I'm working on is showing what my husband does and like how he takes care of the kids. So that is all I have for you. Oh, I'll stop sharing. Sorry. There you go.
Yay, that was so awesome. I love getting that little insight into your team and how you run your business. Your team is super pretty, by the way. Like every picture, you guys look like supermodels.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for her? This is normally when everyone goes silent and then we all just awkwardly stare at each other for a long time. But does anyone have any questions for her about, you know, working full time, how she was able to build a full time income while working full time? Or, I mean, she just showed us her schedule, so you see how she fits it in. Obviously, she has to be really diligent with that schedule, which is awesome. Any questions at all for her?
I will say too, with the vision, like I've always had the diamond retreat vision in my head. Like I already am envisioning next year, but like I just set a date. Like if you guys have, like, let's say you're in a place where you don't necessarily have runners yet, or you have kind of people like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, set a date for an event and say, this is what you need to do to qualify for it. Because honestly, that was how our first, none of my diamonds have left my team except one, the one that was forced to, and she got an invite anyway because she's an angel and she still coaches her team, and yeah, she's amazing. But I think it's really important that you set a date because they're gonna follow you, and if you've got one toe in of, oh, I don't know if we can make this goal, no, shout it from the rooftop. Say, guys, when we hit 5-star diamond, this is what we're doing. And this is when we're doing it by. And if you help me with this, this is where we're going. So like, I'm going down, like I'm taking a pay, I'm taking my salary off the table next month, but I'm still going to be investing in that leadership retreat next June. I'm still going to be investing in, you know, extra team time in St. Louis, which hopefully we're still there. Okay. Let's see. Maya, when is your team call? Is it just a non-negotiable 1 day a week? It is every day. It is Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 5:45. It is such a good accountability piece because it gets us out of bed. Like it makes us, like, it forces us to get up. Even if we're up with our babes a couple times a night. But yeah, it's super simple. Like, I think I was so overwhelmed by it at first. And I think I was just trying to make it like a mini summit every single morning. I'm like, that's just dumb. Like, don't wear yourself out like that. People just appreciate the connection, like honestly. And that was even before COVID. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are usually PD or like some leader sharing something. And then Tuesdays are the business tip Tuesday. And that's where, like this last week, we just went over like the power of free groups, especially right now with people so distracted with school starting and activities and like new routines and things like that. So we're inviting to that for the people who tell us no or ghost us. We're not leading with that, but that is what that's our strategy for getting people involved in what we do. If coaches want to Zoom to chat goals, and how do you fit that in? Yeah. So, first of all, I set a time limit because I could talk to somebody for a long time. And so we usually look at doing maybe a 20-minute call, and I'm just very upfront with it. And they know, I mean, they know I work full time. But just like somebody getting started on the team, I want them to go through the coach university first, and then we can talk, because if a training can answer that question and I can just be used to dive deeper, that's what I want to do. And the trainings can explain it way better than me. I'm a manager. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. So I let the trainings do the work. So as far as where I was taking that is that if somebody has questions or goals and I know that they are, they're feeling a little lax, like I will ask them ahead of time is, how many invites have you sent out? What is your night workout? And then we or what does your night look like? Like we work through that per messaging because I need to know like how I can help you first. Like I need to know specifically what you're struggling with. And sometimes it doesn't need to be a Zoom call, you know? And I think that's a fine line that you have to draw in your business of where you spend your energy. And that's a note I had in here is, know where your energy duplicates itself and know where your energy is drained, and just heart and armor, just make sure that you are aware of where that happens. How do I motivate a coach who is too nervous to take that first step? Actually, we just talked about this. If somebody, it depends. Depends what they're nervous about. If they're nervous about inviting, we'll talk about free groups. We'll talk about like objections. I will, you know, I haven't been able to tune into a lot of diamond calls on Team Rockstar Fit forever because I've always been working. But something I've always heard Trina say is that she helps them write their post. And I'm like, I don't know if that'll be me, but I'm willing to get on a Zoom call with them and like help them write it, because I think that there's a lot of success in them taking baby steps and for them owning that post as well. What is your best advice for someone who is an emerald in their first year of coaching? This is all still new and 6 figures seems for, I know. And you know what? Time is going to pass anyway. I was a baby emerald at my first summit, and I saw, oh gosh, I think it was Melanie Metro, like get on stage, and then they were like shouting all her stats, and they were saying that she could have filled like the entire stadium with her organization of 25,000 people. And I totally get you, because that's exactly how I was feeling in those nosebleeds. But just, okay, so what I want you to think about is think about your job. Think about the job that you were at the longest time, and think about how you felt when you first started it, and think about how you feel about it now, and think about everything that is learned through it. Okay, I did not start out as a manager salary 15 years ago. But you know what? I gotta fly. I'm gonna match that manager salary in less than 15 years of coaching. Probably less than 6. So it continues to build. You have to believe in the compound effect here. Like if you don't believe it, you need to go read it until you believe it, because the coaches that actually put the work into this business are the ones that show results. And Alyssa, I would say to that too is break your goals down. Like, don't think about the 6 figures. Think about, well, what $100 do a week? Think about going emerald every month. Think about like whatever you have in your time slot, like to commit to this business, is do the IPAs first. Like, because I think a lot of times people focus on the end result, but honestly, if you just focus on the action, I think that's why if you focus on the action, the results will come. And that's why I think I had such a tough time when Danny was like, what's your strategy? And I'm like, and I talked to my husband and I talked to my success partner, and they both know me the best. And they're like, yeah, what is your strategy? I'm like, connecting with, like, helping people, and like, you know, it's your story, it's your solution, and it's your invite. And then it's not leaving people once they've signed up, right? They're not a success club point. Fun fact, none of my diamonds have ever signed up to be business builders. All of them signed up to be self-care coaches. So don't, number one, you want to be a business builder, talk about the opportunity more. But number 2, don't discount the discount coach. How long did it take you to come up with your schedule? Oh gosh. Well, it's going to change again next month. It took a little bit. I think what I would do is take a planner and then block out the times that you are not available, and then make sure that you are looking at the times that are. Also, something I've learned from Melanie Mitro is that know when you are at your best. So if you are not your best in the morning, maybe your morning is just for you. If you're a night owl and you've got energy, you get supper, you get family time, you put your kids down, or like maybe you're an empty nester, or maybe you don't have kids to, put to sleep, but you have that block of time at night. That is a massive amount of time to build your business 10x. Like, that's what I'm so incredibly excited for. And my husband's like, babe, like, don't burn out. I'm like, yeah, right. Cause I was a burnout fitness junkie, I have it in me to be a workaholic. And I really have to pull back the reins and say, okay, what gives me joy? What's going to keep me going forward for years and years and years to come? That was a good question though. So short answer, I would say maybe about 6 months. I dabbled, and it even changed when we included the connection call, because that took a 15-minute block, and you get prepared, you have the team call, and then you have some conversations afterwards. So sometimes I'm up till 11 o'clock, doing follow-up messages. But I know I'm the best in the morning. So the morning is when I do as much work as I can. Great question. You guys are awesome. For those who say that want to run but don't show up, how long do you pour energy into them before you tell them that enough? Oh gosh. I think belief is one of my it is one of my top 5 strengths per the Clifton Strengths Finder by Gallup. So I guess I never give up on people, but they're not necessarily the first person that I'm going to message in the morning, right? So like somebody who's on fire, somebody who's contributing to the team, I'm going to talk to them probably at least once a week. If somebody is lacking, I might find other resources for them, but I'm not your accountability partner, right? Like, I'm your coach. Like my job is to help find solutions for you. And if you're not willing to take that next step, then that ball is in your court. And that's a very tough decision to make. And I think, first of all, I never text that. I always voicemail that, because I want them to hear the care and concern in my voice. And I'm a manager, too many emails go out that get misconstrued and so on and so forth. So I voice message as much as I can. Hint, hint, that is a way you can keep your eyes on the road and voice message when going to and from work. But yeah, Alexandria, that is such a good question, because people are going to ebb and flow, right? I mean, if people aren't strong in personal development, or if life happens, they might take a slight detour. But I think the biggest, I have a coach, Sherry, she's one of my diamonds. She actually was the one to go 1-star before everybody else. She literally was on Team Fit and Fearless for 2 years inactive, because she had a fructose intolerance with Shakeology. So that's before Shakeology reformulated. So she stayed and paid $17 a month just for the community. And I was like, holy hell, I don't know if I would have done that. It made me feel so good. And then I gut checked myself, because I'm like, would I have done that? That was a confidence booster for sure. But then Shakeology reformulated, and she got back on that. She's feeling awesome. And yeah, she's 1-star diamond. Again, didn't join to build the business. People have to know you believe in them before they can believe in themselves. And sometimes they have to borrow that belief. And sometimes it causes a lot of interest to build up. That's my financial background speaking. Did I miss anybody? You guys are so fun. I need to go to Oregon. Danny, where's all your team from? Are they just spread out?
Yeah, super spread out. We have a lot of Oregon, Washington, and then we got some gals in Arizona building quite a team, but we're kind of all over. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't have anybody on the West Coast. So
Sarah's in Guam.
what?
Yeah. Her
That's
husband's
amazing.
military, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got ladies all over. We're from east to
But
west, all over.
I should say that the bulk of my team, like, okay, so guys, hint, hint, I did this with a local team. So don't discount your local community. People are watching. Certainly don't say goodbye to Instagram, but I just want you to know that this is not from people joining my team from meeting me on Instagram. Because I am not big into Instagram. I have found all my people through Facebook still. However, that is changing because I know Instagram is a huge platform and one I'm excited to dive into. So again, you don't need to do all the things awesome to get here, to quit your job, to build a thriving business, to have this amazing community, whether it be, virtual connection or local connection. But yeah, I thought that was really important to say.
Okay.
Anything else? I know we're almost out of time.
And my chat like stopped working, so I couldn't even see like the last 5 questions. I'm like,
Oh, that's
getting
okay.
these questions because my chat was not, it's like not working anymore.
It's so fun to hear like my teacher friends like talk about Zoom and like how nervous they are to speak over calls, and we're like, coaches just got it so easy because they've been doing it forever.
Okay,
Oh my
any
gosh.
questions? Alex didn't ask her famous question, but what is your favorite PD book?
I'm reading it.
Here's my homeboy. Good one.
Yeah. So this is our first ever book club that we started, and like everybody is in it. Like 200 and some people are in it. So it's going to be a lot of takeaways to go through every day. Fear is My Homeboy by Judy Holler. I love the cover, don't you? I'm not a hot pink person, but I love it. How to slay doubt, boss up, and succeed on your own terms. So